Yeah, what up, world? It's your boy Jizzlemane, that hoe. Everyone has a story, man.
What is your name and how did you get it?
I go by Luminosity. Luminosity is a Latin word derivative, which means light. Well, my name, because I graduated actually from a Jizzlemane, that hoe, and that's like my party name, you know, my good raps name, fun tunes, have a good time type of deal. But luminosity means light, shedding light, because right now, like, in music, rap, hip-hop specifically, I feel like we're in a time of darkness where a lot of people are getting big off of stupid-ass shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, as far as not making good music, not making music benefiting people. It's just kind of like encouraging people's stupidity.
Where do you consider yourself from?
I'm a military brat, so I'm a little bit from everywhere. Honestly, if I had to choose, Japan and Oklahoma. Oklahoma kind of gave me like the state side that I needed, and Japan gave me pretty much like, and it's still like the culture. Like, I'm culturally aware of all cultures, so I embrace all cultures, and it's like world thing for me. And Japan has like a lot of respect. I mean, I've lived in places from Misawa all the way down to Okinawa and Kandina, all the way up to damn near hour and a half, 2 hours away from Hiroshima and Iwakuni to Yokosuka, right in the middle, about an hour and a half outside of Tokyo. You know, I've fucking been to the places where they filmed Tokyo Drift. I know life is a pretty good thing, but man, if I really had to choose, it'd be Oklahoma and Japan mix, you know.
What was your childhood like?
Childhood was pretty different. I actually left the States at 7 and lived in Japan until I was about 12 or 13. My mom's been through a few relationships, which I'm her firstborn, so I've been through them too. You know, standard lifestyle, man. You know, not necessarily ghetto, but you know, on low income at one point, like early on in my childhood. Then it slowly progressed, and I see my mom progress in the levels of quote unquote the money tree, so to speak, as far as like tax brackets and all that goes and stuff. I had big shoes to fill as far as like education goes, because my mom actually got her doctorate, but in the same breath, my dad doesn't have a degree at all. Did 22 years in the Air Force and shit as avionics maintenance, and he's just as well educated as my mom, so not a little bit different. And for me, it's like I don't want education. Like, education is not for me. Not saying that education is bad, but yeah. So I mean, I had a good childhood, man. Crazy. Like I said, I lived in Japan till about 12, 13. Came back to OK. Went back to OK for a couple years. Did high school all the way to halfway during junior year. Then went back to OK. And yeah, man, fucking awesome childhood. It's like culturally diverse. You know, mentally on a different level at a young age. Had to be.
Who do you consider your biggest influences?
Honestly, my biggest influence is Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi, because we almost had like the same walk of life in certain aspects. Kid Cudi and I fuck with a lot of artists, but no artists are pretty much like mainstream, like you hear him on the radio all the time. But Kid Cudi is probably like my main, because he hit mainstream, but he also does like a lot, I'm not gonna necessarily say underground, but underground work as well. You know, Rakim, Guru, you know, a lot of old heads. I consider like a lot of old heads like role models to my influence in the music that I do.
Any projects that you're working on right now, or past projects?
I got a past project actually on datpiff.com. You can look it up. It's called Blunts and Bongs. That was like it sounds, straight up fucking smoking, get high mixtape and shit. Straight up, it was a true mixtape. Every beat was fucking used and shit. and you've heard it pretty much every beat. Upcoming project, I got the Lost Chapters dropping July 1st. That's coming out July. When that drops, it's going to be a prequel to my album that I'm dropping on Black Friday of this year. So I got 2 projects coming out in 2017 and probably a mixtape around my birthday in February. I haven't really decided on that yet.
What kind of music do you consider yourself to make?
I consider myself to make all kinds of music, honestly, man. From really just rap is how it started off. Now it's going into hip-hop. And actually, a sneak peek for everybody, or a little preview and shit, I'm actually trying to dive into the EDM scene with my current raps. Just throwing a fucking EDM mix over it, including me and shit. So yeah, EDM, rap, hip-hop, R&B, got a couple R&B tracks out. Yeah.
Can you go ahead and spit a verse?
Hell yeah, I can spit a motherfucking verse. Shit. I've been living on the island getting toasty. Call me MasterRoshii. I'm floating, X13. Keep me ripping. Off gravity bongs. Peaches and thongs. Grab it like tongs to the bone. I'm gone. Rolling Stone. No wrong with blunts and bongs. Johnny Bravo strong. Huh, ha, huh. Damn, that's strong. My lungs is on light switch. Flip a bitch. Fuck around in the friend zone with a chick. Blow me. Blow tree free. Very unlikely. Sorry. Psychedelic. I'm angelic. Slaying them all. Missionary. Virgin Mary. I popped a cherry. Knees weak. Palms are sweaty. My spaghetti. No. Raw vegetarian. She's no vegan. But she fiending. Shorty tweaking. Lips leaking. Dripping wet. Damn, that's good sex. Damn, that's good head. Bitch, one cheese. Ho. Peace.
Are you signed? And who would you sign with?
I'm actually currently not signed at all. I've been through 2 indie labels. Real bad experience with one. Another one, we just decided to be business partners instead of actually being signed under the label. And who would I sign with? Honestly, probably Atlantic. I like it. I mean, there's so many choices, man, because I like so much different ways of music. Like, I want to be signed with Wale, good music. There's just so many options and shit. Like, I just couldn't tell you just one that I would like to be signed directly to, because that kind of limits your work as far as who you might be able to record with or who you might not be able to. So honestly, I would like to create my own label. That way my label could fuck with everybody and possibly even be under one label. I would probably have to choose like Atlantic if I wanted a major label to sponsor my label type of deal. But honestly, this indie move is the push, because at the end of the day, you control everything. You control all the power moves as far as fucking who you want to record with, prices, who you want to sign, who you want to collab with, all that kind of stuff, man. And I just seen how people do business, and for me, signing with somebody that's trying to get their label started, quote unquote indie label started, right now at this point in time, I'm not really focused on anybody else but myself. It might sound selfish, but I've already been there and done that, and I know that I want to work on myself specifically. And if a label is still up and coming and they're working on all kinds of different things at once, for me as an artist, it's not enough focus on my craft specifically to sign with anybody right now.
What do you want to accomplish?
If I could change one person's life for the better, I would love that shit. Because a lot of people don't know, but one of my bros actually committed suicide, and like for me, like that was like the tipping point, because when he committed suicide, it was like I was teeter-tottering as far as like, should I stop or should I keep going? Is it really worth it? And all this other, hunky-dory stuff. And it's like, at the end of the day, when he committed suicide, it was like, man, I didn't see it coming. Because I literally had just talked to him the night before and shit. And it was like, he sounded good. I asked him how he was doing and shit. Told him I'll give him a holler and shit the next day. And, yeah, that shit was pretty crazy and shit. So if I could change like one person's life and help them see that it's sunshine on the other side of the storm, I'll be good. I don't even give a fuck if I sell one album, 1,000 albums, 10,000 copies. You know, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't give a fuck if I go platinum. Just as long as I can help somebody in a struggle or anything like that and they progress or at least have a good time and shit. Like I said, I eventually want to own my label and I actually want to run my label. I don't want to be an artist. I actually want to sign other artists under me. If not, you know, I'm not talking about a huge roster, 10, 15 people. I'm talking about a good, solid 2 to 3 people that are willing to travel and that are willing to go the distance and who are teachable. You know, as far as dabbling in the actual film industry and creating an actual comic book of myself, which I got in the works right now.
What's your brand and what do you consider yourself to represent?
My brand is Black Sheep, man. I consider myself to represent all black sheep people in my position and shit. Like, for instance, like when you asked me that question earlier, I was kind of like low-key kind of stumped and shit because it's like, oh shit, where am I from? For me, it's like, you know, just my brand is like Black Sheep, and my big bro AG and shit and Bud, Buddha Man, they actually put me on the Black Sheep. And when my bro AG went to jail and shit, I took care of him from the outside. But as he was inside, like, it wasn't going how I wanted it to go. And I couldn't be upset. You know, I just had to work around the, not necessarily work around the loopholes, but get in conjunction with everybody for the simple fact that I still wanted to be part of Black Sheep, but I didn't want to be under my brother AG and Bud's Black Sheep. I wanted to start my own Black Sheep movement. So for me, it was like, what better way to really brand myself than to go under Black Sheep Nomads? And that's currently my brand. It has a lot of significance because actually last year I was actually driving trucks. You guys already know that I lived in Japan and shit. I lived in fucking Japan. It was like traveling, constant traveling, man. Hopping on the train. Let's go to goddamn fucking, not Kanazawa, fucking Yokohama and shit. Not Roppongi, I was tripping. Yokohama, go travel out there, and like I said, I was a truck driver. By the age of 24, which I just turned 24 3 months ago, I've been to 44 states. And that's within an 8-month time period. There's only 4 contiguous U.S. states that I've not been to. Oregon, Washington State, Florida, and I want to say Maine is the 4th one. It's another state that I haven't been to because I've been all the way down to the border in Texas, to Laredo, Texas. Been all the way west to Cali, fucking Oakland, Sac, LA. You know, you name it, I've been there, man. Wyoming, Cheyenne, Salt Lake City. That shit was fucking beautiful out there, you know. So Black Sheep Nomads fit me perfectly because not only am I a fucking black sheep, but I'm a nomad. For people that don't know what a nomad is, it's a person who travels. That's their occupancy. They travel. They're a traveler. They can't just stay in one area. Like, for instance, Native Americans were considered nomads. Certain Native American tribes were considered nomads because they traveled throughout the land following the packs of food, you know, buffalo or, you know, whatever they hunted for that specific tribe.
When you're not writing or recording, what are you doing?
I am fucking researching music, researching marketing, researching everything, honestly, man. And if I'm not fucking with music at all, like, period, I'm fucking watching anime. Binge watching the fuck out of anime and TV shows. I honestly don't know where the fuck I would be right now if anime didn't exist. Like, it's that fucking important to me. From fucking Naruto Shippuden, Boruto, Death Note, Ajin, Psychopaths. That's just some of the ones that I've fucking watched. Akira is probably my favorite movie of all time. It's the birthplace of the Matrix if you don't know. And if you watch it, you would understand.